Many highly sensitive people have felt so overwhelmed emotionally most of their lives that a coping strategy develops of becoming disembodied, dissociated, disconnected, depersonalized. We have lots of words for it in mental health. The head and the body working together, but with separation instead of a healthy and normal integration where head and body share the same space or the same frequency, are intimately connected. I believe most highly sensitive people feel degrees of this mind-body separation, this dissociation from a constant lifelong overwhelm. The most severe cases of dissociation, depersonalization, whatever word we want to use for this separation of the self, the most severe cases tend to be childhood sexual abuse or severe physical abuse, severe fear or abandonment. People with truly repressed memories, I was one of those people once upon a time, that have memories resurface years later, have been the most extreme cases of feeling this separation of mind and body, the dissociation of moving away from feeling. We still feel, but it's almost like feeling through glass or feeling from miles away. And this makes sense that people with such abuse would be the most extreme on this spectrum. In the moment survival mode engages during something horrendous, our amazing minds and bodies decide to help us not feel what's going on and actually dissociates, separates from the experience that we're forced to experience. Hello, welcome to the show. This is Emotional Badass, where Moxie meets mindful. I'm your host, Nikki Eisenhower, life coach and psychotherapist. And on today's episode, I'm discussing how to be embodied after trauma. This is an episode that shows you how to feel. Our minds and bodies are amazing at trying to take care of us. When we cannot process an obscene human betrayal, like a more powerful older person violating our child's body, it's as if the mind and the body, the way that they intelligently connect, decides that the best strategy is to distance itself from one another, to distance itself from feeling. The mind distances from feeling what the body is experiencing. The body distances from what the mind may think about what it's experiencing. This is an attempt to protect both mind and body. It's a brilliant process that I hope garners significant research in years to come. We have barely scratched the surface of researching what this means. And this is key to me to understanding more about the human condition, more about what's truly possible in terms of our psychology, in terms of our minds and our bodies. When boxers, yes, punchers, right, fighters, when these boxers are in the ring and one starts to overly pummel the other with too much ferocity and violence, the referee dings that bell and separates the boxers by space and time to give them a break, some breathing room, some space to regroup, reintegrate, center and ground on what's going on, get a grip on themselves, basically in the present moment when something violent is going on. Our minds sort of do the same thing, like that referee in a traumatic moment. Less so for something like a car accident. That can be really scary, really upsetting. It can encode into the system as truly traumatic. But this type of depersonalization or dissociation, the separation, whatever you want to call it, it's higher. It happens more so for acts of human betrayal. And these experiences can ding the bell inside of us, making the call for separation of mind and body in an attempt to deal with what's happening that is too much and is crazy. And by crazy, I mean impossible in the moment, particularly if we're young, but it can happen at any age, to make sense of human betrayal. Instead of being in the same place, like those boxers in the center of the ring, the mind and body separates, goes to separate corners, so to speak. This creates a spaciousness inside the personal relationship within the self. And it may culminate in a survivor having a feeling of separateness when it comes to intimately relating to others or feeling the fullness of this human experience. And surprisingly, there seems to be more of this separation of thinking and feeling, of mind and body, with safer people days, months, years after a trauma. This is likely because we have less experience with safer people, especially when we've grown up in unsafe environments. This is one of the flip-flops of trauma, that a safer person presents themselves and our system responds to this safety as if to say, what the hell is this? I don't know what this is. This is freaking me out. And all internal alarms ring. But if another dangerous person shows up, it's as if our system says, wait a minute, this is familiar, and our bells don't go off. This is a flip-flop of a natural, normal, we're all born with this, self-protection, self-preservation. This is a natural process, a natural connection of our mind, our heart, our gut, our bodily autonomy, the space we take up in this life, in this body. And it simply says safe or unsafe. That's what's natural. And this is what betrayal trauma does. Simply, safe is safe and unsafe is unsafe. But a traumatized person has had this flip-flopped and reacts to safety as if it's unsafe, and unsafety as if it's safe. Longtime listeners, you've heard me repeat that trauma flip-flops a lot in us. And healing is flip-flopping things back to more of our birthright, our simplicity in safe being safe and unsafe being unsafe. The most common thing I hear from highly sensitive people who have had a lot of betrayal and unsafety in this life. And that's different than average struggle and discomfort in life. This is the thing I hear the most. I can't seem to get my body to feel what my mind knows is true. I know as a knowledge, as a fact, that I am allowed to feel peaceful now. I am allowed to feel calm. I am allowed to feel good enough. But I can't seem to make my body feel what my mind knows to be true. This is a long-term remnant of being dissociated. Many who can say this have done a tremendous amount of self-development work to be able to articulate this. But this remains the struggle point. A body that seems perpetually in survival mode, long after it's in a survival situation. A body that won't or doesn't yet know how to relax into feeling what is good. And because as human beings, what is universal is for us to repeat and continue what is known. Many of these such survivors maintain a familiarity and an allowance of continuing to feel what has been normalized. Difficulty, struggle, badness, doubt, and unsureness, confusion in the face of safety, instead of an ability to melt into it and enjoy it, allow it, live from a sense of safety. Please remember to find Emotional Badass wherever you listen to your podcasts, and make sure to hit that subscribe and follow button. It helps us so much. To heal, we have to understand that the task is now reintegration. The healing task is to reunite these parts that only learned separation because of horrendous acts by other people. The word yoga, I've been a yogi for decades now. Yoga means to unite. That's what the word means. It means to yoke, to bring together, to realign mind and body. This is why yoga is such a powerful thing to engage as a trauma survivor, as a highly sensitive person. After understanding, oh, this is the task that I face as someone who has had a lot of post-traumatic stress symptoms. We then have to figure out, okay, so how do we do this task? How do I reunite my mind and my body into the universal birthright of oneness instead of fracture, connection and safety instead of dissociation and fear? Let's compare an explorer to a trauma survivor. Think about an explorer. An explorer feels called to explore from a place of curiosity and wonder. They have a seeker's spirit. Once an explorer explores a new land, that land is now not unknown. It is now a known land by that explorer. Maybe no one else will ever find or explore into this land that the explorer has pushed himself beyond the normal and natural boundaries of the known trails and paths that most people walk. Because this explorer has felt called to explore and forge new land. But for that explorer, this is now chartered territory. It's no longer uncharted. If that explorer comes back to this land months or years later, he will likely not stay on the known paths and trails that the average person does. He will go out of bounds, out of those typical boundaries, into that territory just because that territory is one he once visited. Therefore, he knows it's there. And because he knows it's there, he feels called to visit it again. Now think about a trauma survivor, someone who has survived the worst betrayal humanity has to offer in terms of hurt and pain, confusion, overriding of personal boundaries and autonomy, where the explorer travels to new places out of curiosity. A trauma survivor is forced to travel to places in the psyche, out of that trauma, out of that fear and overwhelm, confusion and pain. Trauma pushes our psyches into new territories that we would not have explored otherwise. It forces uncharted psychological places to be explored that wouldn't be explored otherwise just out of curiosity, because there's places nobody would want to go unless they had to go there. Because we go to these places in our psyches as a way to survive. An explorer wants to explore of their own inspiration and volition. A trauma survivor was not given this choice, but is left with the consequences of their psyche going into new territories. When the mind and body tries to save us and take care of us by creating distance between the mind and what the body is experiencing. Once this area of distance between mind and body goes explored by the psyche that is in survival mode, it now seeks out this place later, seeks out this spaciousness, this area that it wandered into. Only instead of maybe like a hidden waterfall that our explorer finds and feels called to go back to, found off the beaten path by the curious and adventurous explorer, where the trauma survivor goes is not a waterfall. It's a fuzziness. It's a distance. It goes to another place instead of the normal and natural place of being right here, present. Because of unsafety, it learned it can't be right here in the typical physical form that the untraumatized person is experiencing. It's as if a mind and a body become at arm's length with one another to help the survivor have a distance experience of what is awful, which is why this space was created in the psyche in the first place, as a place for the human being experiencing atrocity to go. And this space, this distance that makes feeling seem very far away from their own self. We still feel, but we don't feel in the room taking in a movie where we're watching it and we're hearing the story. It's as if our own story becomes like a TV in another room where we hear it. Yeah, it's there. We can maybe tell if an action scene is happening or a comedy is happening, but we're very disconnected from the actual story. We're disconnected from what's actually really happening, even though we know something's happening over there. This distance makes us feel very far away from ourselves. And this distance becomes a known and familiar place that the psyche continues to seek out just because it is now a known place. This is a known place, this distance. It's known to the victors of abusive experiences. We have to acknowledge when we've been victimized, but we don't buy real estate in that victimhood, and we connect with this idea we are a victor of these things. We have come out victorious, even though we might still be experiencing this internal distance that can often result in having distance with other human beings too. When we're explorers, we want to go see that waterfall we once found off the beaten path. But we don't want to continue to explore this disconnection land. We don't want to continue to go to a separation. And if we do, that's just because some part of us has decided that there's not enough safety and security in connection and having our parts sit in one spot. And that's a sad, exhausting way to live over the course of a lifetime. We get to places when we walk this healing journey where we start to realize, I don't want my mind and body to live with this distance. I don't want to live like I'm operating from opposite ends of a long tunnel, because that's exhausting. It's difficult. It takes a long time to communicate and understand communication when there's that much distance. It's not as flowy. Trauma survivors are desperate for flow in their life. This is in large part why. When we walk a healing path, we start to realize, oh, we really do want full integration, even if that scares us, even if we're fully confused about how to integrate. We start to realize we don't want to live in that distance, in that space of disconnection of mind and heart and gut. We want them to communicate closely, intimately. We don't want to live like we have to send telegrams between our different separated parts to get the message. We don't want to have to process life through such distancing. It makes every single thing in this life harder than it needs to be, taking more energy than it needs to take. And the truth is, most of us have done so much work to get to a healthier, safer place where we don't need that distance anymore. But just because we know that, our body, our nervous systems, our energetic bodies that have been less studied by science, our spiritual beings don't want this for us anymore. We don't continue to live our lives based on what we had to learn from abusive and neglectful types of low empathy, low personal responsibility, highly flawed abusive people. We don't keep living based on what a betraying abuser taught our minds and our bodies. If we continue to live under what they taught us, they might as well have abused us yesterday, every day of our life. That's not fair to us. We hit a point in healing where that cannot possibly continue to be allowed. If we are now in much safer circumstances, if we are now in our adult bodies with our grown-up choices and empowerment available to us, we can, and I will make the argument that we must choose to work to reintegrate mind and body. And this, at the end of the day, is called healing. We do this brave work to become less exhausted and restore our energy. We do this brave work out of self-love and self-respect. We do this brave work as a radical act of rebellion and a middle finger to anyone who betrayed us, that we are taking our power back. We do this brave work so that we can simply let good feelings in, so that we can feel rooted and grounded within ourselves instead of fragmented and scattered. We do this brave work because deep down, as deep feelers, we know it is our birthright to be integrated. So how do we integrate? How do we do this healing? How do we get our bodies and our minds on the same page? Y'all know my thing is emotional strength training. What I have for you today is the how to do this. What I have for you today are some emotional weight lifting scenarios, exercises, so that you can strengthen internal integration and practice positive emotion. Yes. When you have had too much life experience, be through a lens of what is negative, what is gross in the human condition, what is wrong. Yes, we get to practice positive emotion. Over time, you can integrate. This is one of the biggest reasons I chose to put my story out there publicly. I wanted to show you me, show you that someone who was once extremely fragmented can integrate. Do this work that I offer. In this episode, and yes, in all that I offer, from the Boundaries Intensive, I'm currently teaching it to a cohort right now, because your inner child needs to understand that you can have healthy boundaries, which makes it safe to be integrated. Nobody lets their kids play in their front yard these days unless there's a fence around that yard. Our boundaries give us safety. Boundaries aren't about being rigid, they're about being safe. Or maybe you take my 30 Days to Peace course so that you stop practicing survival mode tactics and start practicing the ease and peace that was always your birthright. Keep practicing, understanding that you are building emotional muscles that went atrophied through your experiences of what was traumatic. Keep practicing any wisdom nuggets that you have picked up from other healers and modalities. Yoga helps. I told you earlier, this word means to yoke, to unite, to bring together. And when we get into yoga, we don't just go to class. We cultivate a yoga practice. We emotionally strength train as a practice. Over time, you can and will integrate. Know that it feels impossible until it doesn't. It is not impossible for you to integrate. I don't care how severe your trauma was. I have worked with the worst of the worst. It's possible for all who are willing to do this work. I'm saying that as someone who began to believe that I would be afflicted with strong dissociation and post-traumatic stress symptoms chronically for all of my life. I started believing that in my 30s. And in my 40s, I know that that's not true. It's one of those moments where our feelings lie to us, where we cannot see what is available to us. Kind of like when you get in a car to go on a road trip. You can't see the destination when you start, but you trust that if you follow the directions, you'll get there, right? Emotional badass is my attempt to give you the directions. While I will always be strength training emotionally, just like I will always be strength training my body till my very last days. This strength training is the answer to how to be healthy, how to control for all the factors that we actually can today. Today, with great confidence, I can tell you that I am 90 to 95% healed. And I am not plagued by PTSD symptoms. And I cannot think of the last time I felt dissociative. So let's get into this how. As I share these scenarios, I ask you to show up for yourself with courage and commitment. And I want you, just like physical exercise, to exercise your feeling and integration muscles by letting what I share with you today move through your feeling body. Don't just think up here in the thought cloud. You are so much more than a walking head that learns knowledge. Allow what I'm sharing with you to get out of the head, let it drip down into the experience of your being. Allow it to reach your body. Our bodies learn more slowly than our minds do. Our bodily knowledge sinks into our subconscious more slowly over time than learning a factoid in our heads. This is how we integrate from head knowledge to heart knowledge, from head knowledge to body knowledge. And when it integrates, that's when you feel the relief that I know you've been seeking. So as I offer these scenarios, sit and consider the feelings. Try to manufacture the feelings I'm talking you through and be willing to marinate in them in this moment and later. And again, bookmark this episode. Instead of running to the familiarity of the head or the ego that wants to control a lot of our life by using big words and having diagnoses and staying in the head where the ego decided a long time ago it's safer, but it keeps you stuck in what the abusers taught you. Bring patience to this. Bring radical acceptance that wherever you are right now is not wrong. You are not behind. You are not a slow learner. You are not stupid. This is not your stubbornness screwing you over. It's okay that you're still working on this. Let yourself lead yourself with compassion, not a narcissistic never good enough. Don't give yourself any perfectionistic ideas here. Let go of those not good enough messages, because perfectionism and not good enough will just keep you in survival mode. It will keep you fragmented and separate. And this is like making yourself swim upstream when you are so allowed to make the choice to kick back, to float downstream with the current. You don't want to be pedaling upstream frantically, fighting the current. Don't be a current. You have to fight. Let go of that not good enough. You are good enough. And all of this can get better. Little by little, every day you're better. And that is good enough. Make it a decision and put your foot down for yourself. You learn these fragmented ways of being to save your own life. Don't you dare make that wrong or bad. Your psychological and physical selves decided this. Maybe even your spirit did this for you, not to you. Stop feeling put upon, cursed by this outcome. Let's respect what you did to survive. It's just time now to let this go. Like when we have to let go of the diaper and potty train, just simply because that's the next right step as a person. That's the next right step in being a fully functional person and growing from baby into adult. It is time to let go of this trauma response, born of that trauma, because it's no longer needed. And I can say that with a great sense of assuredness, even not knowing you personally, because you will never again be as small or helpless or vulnerable as you were as that child or as you were as a younger adult who was trying so hard to figure things out and just could not have known what he or she could not have known yet. And now you know more. It is time to integrate. I am honored you are still listening. I am honored that you are allowing me to guide you in this, because it has worked for me and it has worked for hundreds of deeply traumatized people. And here's a note. If you feel resistant as I start to show you these options for you to practice, if you feel yourself going, yeah, I'm just going to listen to her and I'm not really going to do it. If you have what I call middle finger or eye rolling energy, just know that this isn't your wise part, your wise man or your wise woman. This is your inner adolescent. And he or she rolls their eyes at me and gives me the finger when I try to inspire you to do new action. Because this part had to grow up way too fast without proper guidance. This inner adolescent had to figure things out all on his or her own. And it's stuck in some immaturity because it had to be older before it was right for it to be older, and it missed out on what it needed to really grow into maturity. And it needs encouragement from your wisest part that you are cultivating and making larger inside of you. It needs your guidance from your wisest part. You didn't get enough helpful help. You might have had help as control or domination, or help came with doses of shame. So that part bristles trying to protect you from the help I'm offering. You have to discern the difference between a dysfunctional offering of help and a healthy, truly low risk offer of help, and then help yourself walk through those activities. Experience is the most profound teacher, not getting more head knowledge. You must not let this adolescent part of you drive the bus of your life and convince you to not do such exercises. On to the list of emotional strength training scenarios. So take a moment to get your wiggles out and take a really deep breath. And your choice, eyes opened or closed. If eyes closed is triggering for you, keep them open. And what I want you to do is I want you to let my words and my voice carry you through the emotion of what I'm describing. I want you to visualize and imagine that you're walking in the park on a beautiful day, and there's a stranger sitting on a bench, sweet little baby, about an eight-month-old baby, little cute, sweet, angelic blob, right? Catches your eye. And that baby engages you with smiles and sweet eyes. A baby is the most innocent of our species. And that sweet little baby is engaging you with light and universal human love and trust that only a child can have so purely. Let yourself feel that that baby is shining their light on you, at you, for you. Bask in the light that shines off of that baby, bright like the sun. Let it beam at you and take in those beams of light. Let that smiling energy, that innocence, that purity, that joy, that connection, breathe it in. Let it wash over you. How does a smiling moment feel in your heart space, in your gut? How does this feel in your mood? Does it send your mood down and low, or up and higher? Let yourself feel that up. Be the up that sweet baby is offering you. Let your feely parts experience this bright upness. What does that feel like? Take another breath, letting this energy become you. All right, number 2. And this is kind of like being at the gym, doing an arm workout, and then putting the arm weights down and then shifting to the legs. So take a deep breath and get ready for the next round of exercise. Get your wiggles out and take a deep breath. Breathe at your own pace, in through your nose, out through your nose. If you're stuffy or crying, breathe any way that gets the air in and out at your own pacing. And I want you to imagine that it's an early morning and you've just made yourself your choice, a hot coffee or a hot tea. You're sitting down in your favorite spot. You're cozy and comfortable, completely unrushed. You have all the time in the world in this morning. Imagine wrapping both hands around your warm mug, feeling the heat seep into your palms. Bring your mug in close to your face and breathe it in, that rich, familiar smell that signals comfort and new beginnings, the start of a day. Feel the steam on your cheeks, taking a deep breath of that warmth. Take that first sip. Feel that warmth, that comfort travel down your throat, spreading into your chest. Notice that your shoulders drop just a little, invited to drop and let go of any tension because you are so comforted by this warm mug of beverage. Notice your breath deepening with every sip, deepening with every full, resonant inhale. This is your moment. It's a moment of warmth, of ritual, of I'm taking care of myself at the beginning of this day. What does this self-care feel like in your body? Does warmth have a color inside of you? Does comfort have a weight to it? Let yourself be fully here, breathing in this simple, sacred act of warmth and comfort, of self-nourishing. When you're ready, flutter your eyes back open if they've been closed. Do a little wiggling just to bring a little movement back into the body. Get ready for the next exercise. This is 3 and we have 5. Number 3. Imagine it has been a long, hard day out and about in the world. You are so grateful to be home. You walk through the door and there they are, your pets. Imagine all the pets you have ever wanted. They're there for you, tail wagging, body wiggling in joy, or maybe that slow blink from your cat that says, I'm happy you're back home. Pure, uncomplicated joy at your existence. Your pets don't care what you accomplished today or what you forgot to do. You are the good thing that's happening in their lives today. They love you. They believe in you. They rejoice at the sight of you. Allow yourself to feel into that sense of being wanted, of being missed, of another being who spends their day waiting for you. Your pets love you for who you are, not how you perform. Your pets love you fully in your best moments and fully in your worst. They are the purest, unconditional love. And you deserve this love. I know it. Your pets know it. It is time for you to know it. You are so lovable. Where does that land in your body? Take a breath with curiosity. Where does this pet love sit inside of you? Maybe your chest softens and opens a little. Maybe you laugh without thinking. Maybe you caught yourself smiling as you receive the energy from your pet. Maybe your whole body softens. Maybe you feel tearful. And if you do, I ask you to not squirm away from any tearfulness. You're allowed to be overcome with the beauty of a pet's most ideal love for you. Let yourself feel the release of those tears if they're there, or a release of walls that have maybe built inside of you that you can now be aware of. Take those walls down, not with a blast, intentionally, safely, brick by brick. Feel what it feels like to matter. You're the most important person in your pets' lives. That's a big deal. Let yourself matter. Allow yourself to feel the feelings that go along with the truth that you are someone's or some being's absolute favorite person on this whole entire planet. Let that truth settle into your bones. Take another breath or two right here, letting that settle in. Wiggle if your body wants to wiggle, and then settle in for exercise 4. I want you to imagine that a song comes on. This is no soft, sweet, angelic folk music song. This is a song with a beat. This song has a booty-shaking beat. Maybe the song is one you haven't heard in years, or maybe it's your current favorite. Breathe into this beat. Let that beat find you. Let yourself feel that beat. Notice that suddenly, as that beat moves in and through you, your body wants to move. You didn't think that thought from your head. Your body thought it from its bodily intelligence. The beat is telling it to move, not your head. Your foot taps. Your head bobs. Your face scrunches with the feel-good funk of this music, this beat. Maybe your whole body sways or dances when no one's watching. You're not thinking about it. You're just feeling it and letting your body respond. It wants to move, and you're allowing this body to move with the beat. The rhythm is pulling something alive out of you. You are feeling this music and the music is feeling you. Notice that aliveness. Where does it live? Where does it spark? Where do you feel this energy that thrums through your body? Is it in your hips, your chest, your fingertips, your spine? Is it in your muscles, your nerves, your very skin? This is your body saying, yes, yes, yes. Your body remembering it knows how to feel good. It knows how to let go. It knows how to respond to beauty. It knows how to be moved by something outside of yourself. It knows how to ride the wave of that beat, of that movement. What does it feel like when your body just lets go? When your body is allowed to embody the beat, to move from the music and with it. Take another breath here. What's happened to your body feeling this beat? How would you describe it? Does it make you feel alive? All right, take a moment to reset, opening your eyes if you'd like, looking around your room, your space, reorienting yourself to the here and now. Get your wiggles out, maybe shake your shoulders, and settle in for our fifth, and for this episode, final exercise. Find your breath, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Noticing the edges of your body where you start and stop, that you are allowed to take up this space. And then I want you to remember the very last time, or one time, whatever time comes up for you, that something struck you as genuinely funny. Maybe it was absurd. Maybe it was just perfectly timed hilarity. Maybe it was stupid funny. And the laughter comes and it just keeps coming. When was the last time you laughed in this way? Hear yourself giggling. That laughter bubbles up and out of your body. What a wild thing to try to control or not allow. Let laughter, let joy, let the silliness and absurdity of life be released in your laughter. Let it move through every part of your being, your mind, your heart, your gut, even your bones. You are laughing till your belly hurts. Laughter tears are squishing from your eyes as your face scrunches in laughter. You can't even catch your breath in the best way. You might howl with laughter. You're laughing so hard a little pee might pee out. You try to stop laughing, but the more you try to stifle the deep body giggles, the more your laughter goes off again. Like laughing when you're in the principal's office or laughing when you're not supposed to in church. It just gets funnier and funnier and funnier. Allow yourself to feel that laughter, feel that beautiful loss of control. That's actually a safe loss of control. Let your body take over in this best way of releasing laughter. Allow the lightness. Enjoy the beautiful way the laughter shakes loose whatever was tight and rigid, constricted and strict inside of you. Notice how your whole body participates. Your diaphragm, your face, your lungs, your whole body shaking. Every cell. This is joy making itself known. So much joy, it is uncontainable. Laughter is a music your body can make and feel. And every cell feels the vibration. This is your nervous system saying, we don't need no stinking fight or flight or fawn. We're safe. We can let go. We can laugh. We can be present with joy. We can feel this joy all in one place right now, right here. Yes, we can. What does that laughter do to you? What does it feel like? What does this kind of letting go show you, teach you? What does it leave you feeling? Are you tingly? Are you energetically lighter? Now, I have 5 more exercises, 5 more of these scenarios that I have put together for you. We're a few days away from November. This is going to be our November exclusive Patreon episode. It won't be released here. These are 5 more exercises that you can imagine, visualize, and feel towards reintegrating your mind and body connection so that you can live, breathe, and be from one place instead of in fragments. You are worth this work. So come join the Patreon. In recent months, one of the exclusive episodes is an art therapy session that I walk you through with me. This is another way that we practice presence and integration, peace, and creativity through art. No one in survival mode ever sat down and did art. If we did it to get out of survival. So come hang out, find that exclusive episode, and open up to more of these exercises. Now, you just experienced 5 with me. I don't expect all 5 of those exercises to be right up your alley. Maybe they are, but maybe there's one that really spoke to you. And if it did, let that be a sign to practice with that imagery, to practice with that emotionality. So come hang out in the Patreon with me and Chris and everybody else who's there. Come get ad-free and exclusive episodes. And if you have benefited from what we've been putting out for years, please consider coming to be a part of our Patreon, be a part of supporting this show that is reaching people all over the world. Light and love. I am an emotional badass. You are an emotional badass. And together we are where Moxie meets mindful. Light and love, y'all. Till next time, take care of yourselves and be good to your recovering and growing self. And I'll see you next time for a brand new episode right here. And I'll see the rest of you in Patreon. Light and love. Bye-bye.